Well, it's another sun-drenched day here on the farm in Thailand. It's Saturday morning. I think it's about 7 o'clock. And I'm attempting to be a good son-in-law. Toon's mum wants some green chilies. She normally has the, I think it's Pikinu, which is the little ones named after a rat poo. But our old chili plant has finally died. I did try to keep some seeds and grow some more, but it's died out. I'm going to pick some of the other chilies we've got. I've already made a start, and we'll have a walk round on the farm and I'll show you what's been going on. It's a little bit different. I had a bit of a to-do last night. Toon chopped down a huge branch of my beloved moringa. Said it was affecting reception or signal for Thai TV. Fortunately, she still watched it. Here she is, the light of my life. Morning, dear.
Morning. You got chili?
I've not got in it. I'll just pick the red ones first. She wants the green ones, doesn't she? Well, I've got two green ones, look.
Meow.
If you take them, take their aubergines, and I'll pick the green ones. She'll dry the red ones as well and make a powder out of those. Well, sometimes you can crush them up, make them a chili powder. Other times just dry them and keep them whole. Depends what dish ladies want to cook. So yeah, it's normally the red ones for us. Toon likes the red ones in the somtam. They are potent. Even Toon said they're a good heat. Once I got all my red ones, I'll do my good son-in-law bit and pick the green ones. Even if they're sort of like half turned red, I'll still pick them. It seems to help the bush keep on fruiting, if that's the right phrase. I don't know. Quick update for you with the goats, guys. Unfortunately, we lost Snow White yesterday. That takes it up to 10 that we've lost now. Thank you so much for all your kind words on the channel. It's you know, when you're a bit down, feel a bit beaten up, it does help. Oopsie, just broke that off. Look, my OCD bed, I still haven't caught up. You're not really dressed for the weather, missus, are you?
What dress I can wear then?
Not a dress. You don't want to be in a dress. How you feeling today?
Feeling wet.
Nothing damps her spirits.
Come on, Mum, wait for chili.
Okay. Got another bush to do down here. Oh, my failing eyesight. Hang on, can't walk past that. Here, check out my finger root. That is growing bonkers. Still moving lots of that. Papaya. Toon says a lot of them are boy papayas, which will be rubbish. There won't be any fruit on the boy papayas, so they'll, once confirmed, I'll have to chop them down and just keep the girls.
Need to put pants on it.
Hey, this one's doing really well. It was getting a bit leggy, so
Oh, that small
I
one,
staked
isn't
it.
it? Or what?
No, but they're really like these as green. Nice one. We got a lovely comment that I was reading this morning from one of you guys, saying that you don't know how we keep going and stay positive and calm, and it got me thinking a little bit. I'm not sure if I've been totally honest with you. Well, perhaps that's not the right word. Perhaps I haven't painted a balanced picture. You know, I was saying to this guy, there's a lot of swearing and being downbeat off camera. I know recently with the goats and that you do see probably a little bit more than is usual, but it's not like I'm embarrassed with it. I mean, Toon's a lot more upbeat than me. It's just that I am aware that you know, you guys are watching YouTube to enjoy yourself, and if you've got some bloke that's just always down and angry or upset, it's hardly compelling viewing, is it? Well, some people might like that. Hang on a minute. Midday. So we could probably do some more videos, in fairness, but they're probably not what people want to watch. So yeah, I tend to cherry pick my moments as and when I can. I think what comes across in the videos is Toon comes across as quite shouty and moody, but in fairness, would you say that I'm a little bit more moody than you, missus?
Yeah.
A grumpy old man.
Shout to me.
Smack
Smack me.
Smack you and shout at it now, please.
Somewhere.
That's different. Yeah, Toon, although she's more vocal on the farm, she probably sleeps better than me, apart from when she has hay fever. You know, her brain is sort of like, doesn't sound very nice, is it? Inactive at night. She's at peace more than I am, whereas I'll dwell on things and think about things maybe too much, worry about things, you know, worrying about the current situation with the farm, with the flooding and all that sort of stuff. But in truth, there's not a lot you can do about these things. You know, a lot of the things that we worry about are out of our control. So
It's not happen every day, innit?
no, it doesn't happen every day. That's
Oh,
right, dear. That it? Look at all the spider flower seeds we've got to collect, grow more of.
Anyone fancy, give me the address. I'll send in it some seed.
Some seed. Okay. 1,000 baht a kg, innit?
5 cc.
5 seed each, 100 baht, bargain. Right, do you want me to send them to your mum then?
That's alright, I'll do it.
Oh, you just want to go and see Kaimo, isn't it?
Mm.
Normally we wouldn't go out in the rain to deliver just a few chilies. It's just that the last year or two, maybe a little bit longer, Toon's mum has been going off loads of different foods, and now she just eats the same thing every single day, which is bala, the fermented fish, which she makes. I know a lot of people don't like it, but if you tried her bala, I'm sure some of you would like that don't normally have it. And green chilies with the rice, and sometimes a dip or something like that. So yeah, we can't let her go without her green chilies, so Toon's going to deliver those. So I'm gonna have a little walk in the rain and show you, you know, just really what we're up against. But again, I don't want to do it as a downer. I'm trying to stay balanced. So let's have a look at my what could we call it? My natural garden area. Well, it's not really, because it's half and half. We've got 2 raised beds areas in here, and the moringa sunshade round the outside is getting up nice and high now. We've got a couple of bananas here and there. We've got a little bit of galangal and a little bit of finger root here and there. We've got lots of papaya, trying to get this canopy going. I did have a moringa that's sprouted up, or 2 moringas that sprouted up in the raised bed, so they're going to have to come out before they break the block work. I should really do it while it's all wet. Very, very soft wood moringa. You could break all this off by hand, so I'll replant those. Anytime I chop a big branch off, then I transplant them, and they generally take when it's wet like this. We got, I don't know the actual name for this. I could look it up, but I know some of you bright sparks will know what it's called. Toon calls it MSG plant. We like it. I did incorrectly say that it's good to eat raw. Well, it's good tasting, but I think it's toxic if you don't cook it. So boil it or fry it. I like it fried. I know it's not quite so healthy, but it's a really nice, strong, irony, meaty taste to it. It's really good. We don't eat the sticks, but yeah, make sure you cook it. It's like a lot of these medicines you see these days, isn't it, that are brand new to the market. Maybe leave it a couple of years and see how many people drop dead before you have it. Now, I'm hopefully reliably informed by Toon that these are the female flowers, so this papaya will be staying. As is that one. I mean, giveaway, there's fruit on it. I'm getting raindrops on me now. And these are the male flowers. So I know you can get hybrid trees. It's sort of like a bisexual tree. But yeah, there'll be no fruit coming from that. But it's still good for the bees. And these, they're fantastic snail food. Hang on, let me wipe my lens. Just a quick crutch shot for the ladies. Yeah, so the plan with the male trees is just to keep them going for the bees and the leaves as they all grow, and the female trees, or plants rather, they get bigger and need more room, then we'll take the boys out. My old okra's going over now. Well, it's still going, but it's looking a little bit ropey. Here's that other moringa that needs to come out. This raised area has been so productive, but with the I was going to say the weather, but it's good growing weather. It doesn't stand in water. The raised beds are doing their job, but it's just other things have had to take priority. So me basil is let's say that's seen better days now, but at least we've got seed to grow it again. The aubergines have been off the scale. I never ever thought we'd get so many eggplant, all different styles. They have been a success. We had what were they, ash gourd and watermelons growing along here. Ash gourds, don't bother guys, they taste minging. There's a load of old pack bung in here. I've just left it here, and then I'm going to repin it and grow a big section in here. We eat it, the fish eat it, the goats eat it. It's really good. So once everything started dying back, it's been a dumping ground for compost and goat muck and biochar, eggshells, everything. So yeah, we're in for something special when I replant. I may well use a tarp for the first time, see how we get on with that. Probably in this bed here. This hasn't had anything in here yet. I've just let it go wild. I keep dumping all chop and drop stuff in here and just try and get some more organic matter in here, because this has got no topsoil in here. Very well. A couple of trees here. Toon's not here to tell me how to pronounce it, but dock hair, or don hair is the tree, dock is the flower. We love these. Very good eating. The goats love them as well, so we have to be careful if we do let them out here. There's another eggplant there. No bugs, that's nice. What about a big one? No bugs. I don't know about you guys that are growing stuff out in Thailand, but yeah, eggplants, you know, because we are obviously organic, and I haven't sprayed anything at all, not even sort of like my own concoctions. The eggplants do take a bit of a hammering, but by and large they're coming out pretty clean. So even if they get a little bit of burrowing from whatever they are in there, you can normally cut it out, and they taste quite sweet, all of them. I think that probably goes for a lot of produce that you grow yourself organically, and of course as well a lot of the natural sugars, I suppose. You know, you cut it, cook it, eat it, or cut it and eat it, then there's a lot of the natural sugars that are still present in there. Yeah, that's pretty much it for round here. Let me show you my massive cassava that fell down. It was so heavy. This is Toon's. She elected to grow hers in our moon rock in a dry place. It's not half bad, is it? but I have to say I saved it for her. She has Leigh's pee-pee to thank for that, and I did mulch round it in the dry season. Now, the cassava that I'm going to show you over here, I planted at the same time. We had a bit of a competition. I suppose she's won because hers hasn't fallen over, but mine's just fallen over because it was so big. It's probably getting all eaten by bugs now. I am going to cut them and replant them, but hang on, let me put my eggplants away. It's moist, isn't it? Yeah. I've got tubers, but look at this. It's outrageous. I would put it at 15 foot, at least 15 foot high, and she couldn't take it. She toppled, but I think it was just because of the heavy rainfall, and we had a lot of wind. You can imagine the wind loading on all the foliage there. But it's started to sprout now. Now it's fallen down, so I'm just going to chop these and stick them in and regrow them. This cassava you can eat. Well, you can eat any cassava if you boil out the cyanide for it. It's getting pecked now. It's fallen down. You can also use the foliage, not just the tubers, but the foliage as well for the goats. But you need to dry the tubers, which we've done before. I think we did a video. Well, we did do a video where we collected it in the wild, not in the wildly, other people's farms when the tractor misses them, or the people miss picking them up when the tractor's been through. So you slice them up, you dry them. After a few days, once they're bone dry, then the goats can eat them. With the foliage, they somehow ferment it. They pick the leaves and they put them in plastic tanks, and they let them go all sweaty and stuff like that. But I don't know, I wouldn't fancy eating it. Another one of Toon's successes, where she's just thrown it in and it's grown, left to its own devices, is a bamboo. This isn't the Taiwan bamboo. This came from there. We did have bamboo, about 5 plants down here, but when we were having the house built and that, we cleared it all out and just left this one here. That's just the commonly found Thai bamboo. I don't know what that one's called, but it's good. It grows very, very quickly once the shoots come out. I know all bamboo grows quickly, but that's quite a slender shoot, and it just comes up like a rocket. But it's probably better tasting, in my opinion, than the Taiwan bamboo. I really want to get hold of more banana plants, grow a lot more of those. We get through quite a lot. The foliage for the goats, the snails love it as well, and of course I love the fruit. It's a bit thick in here, but we've got one of the goats' favourites in here, so I haven't trimmed it. There you go. If we leave it all like this, then the goats will eat this rather than the palms. If we just let them out and everything was trimmed down, then they'd have a go at the palms. I've noticed my viewfinder is starting to fog up sometimes, so hopefully the picture's okay. Right, let's show you my strimming. Once a week I'll strim one side of the ponds, or 2 if I'm feeling like I've got loads of energy, and then I just try and keep on top of this. Again, I'm not taking it down really short, I'm trying to keep the ground covered. You can see the amount of foliage here, but it just disappears. Yeah, look, you've still got the moon rock under there. These are my last lot of moringas that I've put in. I would imagine another couple of days they'll get going. I do have a tendency to trim what I put in though. Yeah, I had a lovely, what is it again, donkey here. I don't know whether it's coming back or not. It was about 8 foot tall. I still managed to bloody trim it. Are you alive? Don't know, jury's out on that. It doesn't look like I've got sod all growing, but I have. Some of them are going to be big trees, so we've got a sweet tamarind there. We don't put them too close to the house because they tend to attract a lot of caterpillars, which Toon is scared of. Hey up, the old apple snails have been busy. we've been populating all the ponds that we've got and the lake with apple snails. I mean, even the crayfish pond, the crayfish love the baby snails, so we put a load in there, free natural food and a source of calcium. All good. This tree you may well recognise. It's not a weed. It's I think it's pusa, and they look like crab apples. And the best way I can describe it, they're like a, when you eat them, they're like a fusty apple, but they're only about that big. There's quite a bit of stone on there. I wasn't that keen on them when I first come to Thailand, but I do like them now. We've grown that from seed. It's quite fast growing. Or when we were out cutting leucaena for the goats one day, there was a tree. It was a really healthy tree. The fruit looked great. So I said to Toon, after I was noshing on them, I'll keep a couple of these seeds. And yeah, a few of them have grown. Don't want to put too many in because they're incredibly spiky and they do grow big. So although we have got the room, there's other trees that we've been putting in. The Mekongs are feeding. They've had their pellet this morning. Ridiculous size now, which is good. Doris, the vampire goat, has kindly pruned Toon's, what is it, Leigh? Oh, I can't remember now. Tabatim, a ruby tilapia. Not very easy to hook, but Toon's been managing to get them with the lift net of all things. But yeah, they're nice and fat, good meat on them. Okay, 2 days ago, that was like an ocean out here. I should have picked up the camera, I apologise. It was one of those days where Leigh didn't want to touch the camera. But yeah, that was just like, it was like bloody Hunstanton Beach. The moringa cutting in there. The palms, don't worry about them, they all look overgrown, but it's all good. What I have been learning from, certainly from Korean natural farming and stuff like that, you hide your plants. You know, if you strim round them, or let's say I strimmed this whole area to say 3 or 4 inches, there will be certain bugs that were in there that can't hide there anymore. And yeah, I would like to think that they'll go to other farms, but remember all the other farms are sprayed to within an inch of their lives. So you know, something that's hiding in here and eating something in there now hasn't got the habitat, and you know, you're increasing the likelihood of going onto the palms. Since I've been doing this, 0 spraying. All I do now is mulch them, which I'm going to show you in a bit. You won't believe the mulching now. And then the goat muck with a biochar. There's not so much biochar going on now. There's plenty around every single palm we've got, as most other trees. And yeah, so just chopping and dropping on top of that. Here, where we put the Napier, that's been underwater for about a month now. We can't get in here. We have been catching climbing perch and mudfish in here. Nothing huge. Well, Toon did get a couple of huge climbing perch. Yeah, before I show you my mulching, check this out. I put a few MSG cuttings. So easy to grow this stuff. Just stick it in the wet soil and off it goes. But look at this. Palms don't seem to be suffering from it at the moment, but look, this is coming off from our land up there. So what happens when it gets to the point where the ponds up there, although they could hold more water, that's actually higher than the rut, and it's just coming onto the road here and then down there. But it's fast, and this is going 24/7 whether it's raining or not. And this is why I think we are just 100% saturated now. You sometimes see the fish and the crabs, the snails coming up here. Weird, isn't it? That palm's looking good. What we've got earmarked for this is we're going to have a little bit of earthworks done in here, and this is going to be our main snail growing area. So we'll still use a couple of tanks back at the house for propagating the eggs, and then we're going to put them in here and feed them here. So That's why I've just started growing the MSG plants. There's going to be more bananas, more papaya here, and then you can just break it off and throw it in here. So this area is going to be dug out a little bit, not a huge amount. It may well not stay wet all year, but we've got the ponds there, and I want to keep the height of the water in the crayfish pond down. So nothing we can do about it at the moment. So the soil that's going to come out of here is going to make up a boundary around here, a little bit higher, and then we'll just blue net it or use the old concrete roof sheets, cement roof sheets. I've been strimming all down here because I've been putting standing hooks in here. It's bloody scary at night. Most of you will remember the 3 python incidents that we've had, and the reticulated python is still on the loose somewhere unless someone's burnt it in their sugar cane. We still let the goats in here now and again, but at the moment, take a look at this. It's up to the fence. So we will have lost some, certainly climbing perch and some mudfish going through from our pond into the rice farm next door. But we've got this all the way around, so anything bigger than that is obviously worth keeping, and they can't get out. Although we would ideally like to keep every single fish on our land that's here. It's just impossible with Thailand. When the monsoon season comes, the sudden influx of water, I mean the volume's incredible, you just can't hold it all. So, you know, you just gotta, it's not like you gotta let it go, but it goes of its own accord. So as water moves, so do the fish. You can put traps everywhere, nets everywhere, but sometimes you get a lot of debris, and you know, you're creating a big job for yourself, making sure that those barriers or traps are kept free of debris all the time. And you know, you're talking about night time and stuff like that. It's, you know, you got to get some kips somehow. Anyway, have a look in here. So this is one of our neem trees. So don't forget, if you want to clear your colon out, maybe you're a little bit constipated, nosh on a load of these on an empty stomach. Absolutely foul, bitter as hell. Trying to keep dry under there. Min. They're the small honeybees. Right, we've got another couple of nests in the mango tree where the squirrels are. Down here is one of the scariest fishing locations on the whole farm, but one of the most productive. I've ordered my circle hooks. One of you guys was saying give them a try. We used to use them when we used to do some beach fishing back in the UK, and I never thought about it, to be fair. Totally out of sight, out of mind. So we're gonna pop them on the standing hooks. And here is Goat Island, which is a real island now. What could you say? Looks like we should have had it built even higher. So the plan is, course of action, we're going to have to take the shelf out on the island and build the middle up and build the access road. We've had to make a temporary access way for the goats to get them off the island, but each day we're having to make it higher, and we're just using the cinder blocks that we got spare. We're running out, but in places they're three blocks high. They're all right. They didn't really like doing it to start with, and I don't think they're that impressed, but it is a feat of engineering, if I don't mind saying so myself. But yeah, this is what we're up against, guys. Have a look at this. And it just keeps coming and coming and coming. And the water's lovely and clear. Old apple snails seem to be happy here. Don't forget, if you're thinking of growing growing and eating apple snails. Potentially very dangerous, well, potentially can kill you from the parasites. So not that you would, but don't eat raw apple snails. Make sure that they're well cooked, and you'll be all right. It's the same with raw fish out the river, you know, with your liver flukes. Yeah, just I know there's a couple of Thai dishes where people, certainly the Isan dishes, where they eat raw freshwater fish. It's a loaded gun, guys, don't do it. Well, you can, up to you. Oh look, it's just bonkers. So this is a bit of an evolution that's been taking place here, and originally it was only about to here, but it just gets further and further as it gets higher. The water now is about 15 feet away from the house. It was supposed to rain all last night, it's supposed to rain all today. It didn't rain last night, but it's making up for it now. It could well be that the goats won't be coming off the island. Another day of full rain, that's it. You can't have bloody 4 or 5 blocks high all the way along. It's just ridiculous. The good point is, let's stay positive, Leigh. We've been catching loads of fish down here. We just put the standing hooks here, just bang, 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 no problem. We haven't had any water coming in here. It's although the river did burst the other day, our drainage ditch hasn't overflowed into the lake again, so that's good. The palms, that one's been underwater for quite a while. Now we could pump, but the rainfall, any rainfall that we get now, of course the ground's saturated, and if you look here, this bit, which normally drains within about half an hour to an hour, this just remains underwater now, as does this. So yesterday didn't rain all day. Well, about a day and a half we had 0 rain. And check out my new mulch. I'm growing it in situ now. So I've been dragging it out of the drainage ditch over here and putting it on these palms over here, and it's just rooted. It's good, isn't it? And then when the dry season comes, it's already there. So hopefully that's going to grow. Well, it's already perked up, taken root. It can stay there. But look, it's just, this isn't flowing fast because it's raining now. It's been going like this for about a week now. Yep. So the land is higher up that end. I mean, we've got the road, the main road across there, which stops the rain coming in from over there. We don't get any runoff from that way. We get runoff from over that way. So this is rainwater that's fallen on our land, unless it's rainwater that's soaked through on someone else's land and then gone under the road and then come here. I don't know, there's nothing you can do about that anyway. I have used my new standing hooks areas that I'd trimmed, so it just enables you to get to the drainage ditch a little bit easier. What I have got to do though is clear these bits here. What happens when the snakehead come up and grab the frog, they pull back down, and then as soon as the hook gets tangled in there, they just pull off and you lose your dinner. So yeah, not very important at the moment. But look, this is just, I say it's crazy. It's the monsoon. I know it's the mother of all monsoons. Someone said on the comments about another 4 weeks and then we should be finishing the monsoon, but who knows with today's modern climate. The bamboo is sodden, no problem there. That'll be storing all the water in their long shoots. It's just, it's not ridiculous, it's what bamboo does, Leigh. It's impressive. We've still got a few dead ones to get out. Again, you know, in an ideal world we'd get in there and do that, but just so busy. The grasses, but major growth. This little bit of pasture here we keep for the goats. I have trimmed ground there. Yeah, we are hoping to develop this in the next dry season, if at all possible. and create sort of like a, not a canal system, but something that's going to look nice and really take advantage of the wild fish. See if we can trap some in a greater volume. Although we get plenty, we'd like to have more. So yeah, it'll be larger and deeper in places, and then when the flood water comes and the fish come, then they'll be more inclined to stay. And then as the water levels drop in the dry season, there'll be a holding point, you know, a deep area, easier to pump out and collect the fish from one small area. We'll just stick the old trusty Honda pump on there, and good to go. Loads of new growth on the palms, sacrificial ones, remember, for the goats at the bottom. Usually you would cut these off. Well, usually they'd still have leaves on. But no, they're good for the goats, and they eat it anyway. You can't bloody stop them. Certainly after the rains, or during the rain, if they're out, then they'll enjoy eating those. They're nice and high off the ground. That's the sort of fodder that they like. But once they actually do die, then you can see I've been cutting the other ones off. And another positive, we got our first palm nuts, and I'm particularly proud of this. They're on the palm that Toon's older brother said that we're probably going to kill my tree because I put too much manure on. I did say to him, it's goat manure, you could pile it on there, no problem. And this tree, just show you, so proud. This had more goat shit on it than any others. And look, only small, but they're definitely palm nuts. 1, 2, 3. Somewhere underwater around here, I've got a set of keys. They fell out when I was cutting grass. 3, 4 lots. After nearly losing them in the droughts and losing them from pests, now they're probably the healthiest thing on the farm. Far healthier than me and Toon. This is the start of the pasture that Toon and I have begun growing napier grass and other grasses, and this is where we're going to start our cut and carry for the goats. So when the weather's like this, on the raised areas, so these raised areas that you can see here now, that's where we first put cassava in many moons ago. Terrible. Exposed soil, no food in the soil. Needless to say, it was rubbish, with a 6 months drought on top of that. This is the smallest palm on the land. That got absolutely nailed by goats many moons ago, but now, yeah, looking really good. Could do with some more food on them. Don't use any synthetic fertilizers. Right, you might not be able to see it at first glance, but in here is the napier. Now normally you'd tractor the whole area, put a line on there and bang bang bang, just pop them all in. We didn't do that, mainly because we haven't got the tractor anymore. No, the main reason is if you turn the soil over and then go put in napier sticks in there, well, your goats can't come out here because they'll just eat your napier. Whereas camouflage growing, they much prefer this sort of wiry stuff. Yeah, we've got, it's still quite early, but yeah, most of it's growing. You'll see these palms here, they're very, very overgrown with the grasses around them, but we don't mind because when the weather's like this, these are the grasses that help us to feed the goats. That's another one of their favourites as well. Minute, you know what's coming.